Hey there, gearheads. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into something that's going to make your heart race faster than a small block Chevy at Daytona. We're talking about the 15 most beautiful sports cars ever built. And trust me, these aren't just pretty faces. These machines pack serious punch under the hood. Now I know what you're thinking. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? Well, sure, but when Enzo Ferrari himself calls a car the most beautiful thing on four wheels, you better believe we're going to listen. And that's exactly what happened with one of the cars on our list today. Here's the deal. We're keeping this fair and square. Only one car per manufacturer makes the cut. That means no Ferrari domination, no Porsche parade, just pure automotive eye candy from around the globe. From Japanese legends that put the land of the rising sun on the map, to American muscle that'll make your neighbors jealous, we've got it all. So grab your favorite beverage, settle into that lazy boy, and let's take a ride through automotive history. These aren't just cars, they're rolling works of art that define generations of gearheads just like us. Kicking off our list at number 15, we've got the Toyota 2000 GT. And before you start rolling your eyes about a Toyota being on a beauty list, hear me out. This is the car that proved Japan could build something more than just reliable econoboxes. Picture this. It's 1967, and Toyota teams up with Yamaha, yeah, the motorcycle guys, to create something that could go toe-to-toe with the best Europe had to offer. What they came up with was pure poetry in motion. Long, low, and sleek with those gorgeous pop-up headlights that were all the rage back then. Under that beautiful hood sat a 2.0-liter inline-six that could push this beauty to respectable speeds. But here's the kicker. They only made 337 of these things. That's rarer than finding an original Hemi Cuda in a barn these days. And if you're a James Bond fan like me, you'll remember this beauty from You Only Live Twice. They actually chopped the top off one just so Sean Connery could fit inside for the movie. Talk about movie star treatment. Coming in at number 14, we've got what many consider the Mona Lisa of the automotive world, the Bugatti Type 57 SC Atlantic. Now this isn't your typical sports car, fellas. This is automotive art from the 1930s that makes modern supercars look like they're trying too hard. Jean Bugatti, yeah, Edere's son, designed this masterpiece with flowing lines that look like they were carved by the wind itself. But here's what makes it really special. See that distinctive seam running down the middle? Those aren't just for show. The whole body was riveted together like an aircraft, because back then, they couldn't weld aluminum properly. Only 4 of these beauties were ever built, and only 3 survive today. We're talking about cars that sell for more than most people's houses. Try $40 million if you can even find one for sale. This isn't just a car. It's a piece of history that belongs in the Louvre. The Atlantic proved that the French didn't just know wine and cheese. They knew how to build something that would make grown men weep with its beauty. At number 13, we've got British elegance with a sledgehammer punch, the Aston Martin 177. Now, if you're thinking this sounds expensive, you're absolutely right. We're talking about a car that cost over $1 million when it was new, and that was back in 2009. Here's what makes this thing special. They only built 77 of them, hence the name. And each one was basically hand-built by craftsmen who probably spent more time on one car than most of us spend at our day jobs in a year. The chassis is pure carbon fiber, and the body is hand-shaped aluminum. We're talking old-school craftsmanship meets space-age technology. Under that gorgeous hood sits a monster 7.3-liter naturally aspirated V12 that pumps out 750 horsepower. That's enough to push this beauty past 217 miles per hour, faster than most of us have ever driven, and probably faster than we ever will. But it's not just about the speed. The 177 has that timeless Aston Martin elegance that makes it look like it belongs in a James Bond movie. In fact, it probably should have been. Now we're talking. At number 12, we've got America's sports car, the Chevrolet Corvette C2 Stingray. This is the car that proved Detroit could build something that looked as good as anything coming out of Europe, and it could do it for a fraction of the price. The C2 Stingray, especially that iconic 1963 split window coupe, is pure American muscle wrapped in fiberglass bodywork that looks like it came from the future. Those sculpted lines, that aggressive stance, this is what American automotive design was all about in the 60s. And let's talk about that split rear window for a minute. Chevy only did it for 1 year because drivers complained they couldn't see out the back. But you know what? That flaw is exactly what makes the 63 so special today. It's like automotive rebellion, form over function, and we love it for that. Under the hood, you had your choice of small block V8s that could turn this beauty into a tire-smoking, quarter-mile eating monster. This wasn't just a pretty face. It was a pretty face that could back up its looks with serious performance. At number 11, we've got the Porsche 918 Spyder. And before you start groaning about hybrid technology, stick with me here. This isn't your Prius driving neighbor's hybrid. This is 887 horsepower of German engineering that'll rewrite your definition of what a hybrid can do. Porsche took their legendary 4.6-liter V8 and paired it with not one, but two electric motors. The result? A car that can hit 214 miles per hour and still get decent gas mileage when you're not trying to break land speed records. It's like having your cake and eating it too. But the real beauty of the 918 isn't just in the numbers. It's in those flowing lines and active aerodynamics that make it look like it's doing 100 miles per hour while sitting still. This is what happens when German engineers are told to build something beautiful and they actually pull it off. The best part? You can drive this thing in pure electric mode for about 18 miles. Imagine pulling up to Cars and Coffee in complete silence, then firing up that V8 and watching everyone's heads turn. That's the kind of party trick that never gets old. Coming in at number 10, we've got pure American insanity, the Shelby Cobra 427. This is what happens when a Texas chicken farmer, with a need for speed, decides to stuff the biggest, baddest American V8 into a lightweight British roadster. The result? Automotive legend. Carroll Shelby looked at the AC Ace, a pretty but underpowered British sports car, and thought, you know what this needs? A 427 cubic inch Ford big block. Most people would call that crazy. Carroll called it Tuesday. The Cobra 427 is all about that classic American philosophy. There's no replacement for displacement. With that massive V8 under the hood, this thing could go from 0 to oh my God faster than you could say hold my beer. But here's the thing. It was also one of the most dangerous cars ever built. No power steering, no power brakes, no electronic nannies to save you from yourself. This was a car that separated the men from the boys, and it did it with style. Those muscular curves, that long hood, that aggressive stance. This is what American muscle looks like when it's not wearing a suit. At number 9, we've got Italian elegance at its finest. The Maserati A6 GCS/53 Berlinetta. Now this one's got a story that's almost as beautiful as the car itself. Picture this. A talented designer named Aldo Broveroni creates this gorgeous design for Cisitalia, but the company goes belly up before they can build it. Most designs would just gather dust, but this one was too beautiful to die. Battista Pininfarina, the Pininfarina, saw the design and said, we're building this, but we're putting it on a Maserati chassis. Only 4 of these beauties were ever built, making them rarer than honest politicians. Each one was handcrafted with the kind of attention to detail that just doesn't exist anymore. We're talking about Italian artisans who treated each car like they were creating a sculpture. The result is pure Italian poetry in motion, flowing lines that seem to dance even when the car is standing still. This is what happens when Italian passion meets Italian craftsmanship, and the result is something that belongs in an art museum as much as it belongs on the road. At number 8, we've got German engineering with Hollywood flair, the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing. Those iconic doors aren't just for show, fellas. They're actually there because the engineers couldn't figure out how to make regular doors work with the car's space frame chassis. Sometimes the best solutions come from necessity. This beauty was way ahead of its time. We're talking about a car from the 1950s that had fuel injection when most cars were still using carburetors. That inline-6 under the hood was producing over 200 horsepower when that was serious power. And it could push this elegant machine to speeds that would make your insurance agent nervous. But it's not just about the performance. It's about that timeless design that still looks modern today. Those clean lines, that distinctive grille, those gull-wing doors that make every entrance an event. This is the car that proved Germans could build something beautiful and functional at the same time. The 300 SL was the car that put Mercedes back on the map after World War II, and it did it with style, grace, and enough performance to back up its good looks. At number 7, we've got American racing heritage wrapped in modern technology, the Ford GT. This isn't just a sports car, it's a rolling tribute to one of the greatest stories in racing history. Back in the 60s, Henry Ford II got his feelings hurt when Enzo Ferrari backed out of a deal to sell Ford his company. So what did Henry do? He built the GT40 and proceeded to hand Ferrari their lunch at Le Mans for 4 straight years. The modern Ford GT celebrates the 50th anniversary of that first victory, and it does it in style. Ford built 1,350 of these beauties, and each one is a masterpiece of modern engineering. We're talking carbon fiber construction, sophisticated aerodynamics, and enough technology to make a NASA engineer jealous. But here's the beautiful part. It still looks like its 1960s ancestor, just with 50 years of evolution. The design perfectly blends past and future. Those air intakes, that low stance, that aggressive profile, this is what happens when American engineers are told to build something that can compete with the best Europe has to offer, and they actually pull it off. At number 6, we've got what many consider the greatest supercar ever built, the McLaren F1. This isn't just a car, it's a rolling piece of Formula One technology that somehow got street legal. Gordon Murray, the genius behind this machine, had one simple goal: build the ultimate driver's car. No compromises, no shortcuts, just pure automotive perfection. The result was a car with a central driving position. Yeah, you sit in the middle like a race car driver. And 2 passenger seats flanking you like you're the captain of a spaceship. Under that gorgeous carbon fiber body sits a 6.1-liter V12 built by BMW that produces 627 horsepower. That might not sound like much by today's standards, but remember, this car weighs less than a modern Camry. The power-to-weight ratio is absolutely insane. For years, this was the fastest production car in the world, capable of 240 miles per hour. But speed was just a byproduct of the design. This car was built to be the ultimate expression of what a sports car could be. And even today, 30 years later, nothing has really matched it. At number 5, we've got Italian artistry meets German power, the Pagani Zonda. Horacio Pagani didn't just build a car. He created a rolling sculpture that happens to have a Mercedes-AMG V12 under the hood. Every single detail on a Zonda is handcrafted. We're talking about exposed carbon fiber that looks like automotive jewelry, interiors that are more luxurious than most people's living rooms, and attention to detail that borders on obsessive. Pagani doesn't build cars, he creates automotive art. But it's not just about looks. That Mercedes-AMG V12 produces one of the most beautiful sounds ever to come out of an exhaust pipe. It's like a symphony orchestra made of metal and combustion, and it'll give you goosebumps every time you hear it. The Zonda proved that small manufacturers could still compete with the big boys if they were willing to do things differently. While other companies were chasing numbers, Pagani was chasing perfection, and the result is something that belongs in a museum as much as it belongs on the road. At number 4, we've got what many consider the most beautiful car ever built, the Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale. This is Italian design at its absolute peak, and it's so gorgeous it'll make you question everything you thought you knew about automotive beauty. Only 18 of these were ever built, making them rarer than unicorns and twice as magical. Each one was hand-built with the kind of passion that only the Italians can bring to automotive design. Those butterfly doors, those flowing lines, that perfect stance. This is what happens when Italian designers are told to create the perfect sports car, and money is no object. Under that stunning bodywork sits a 2.0-liter V8 that produces 230 horsepower. That might not sound like much, but remember, this car weighs about as much as a modern motorcycle. The power-to-weight ratio was absolutely incredible for its time. The 33 Stradale combines elegance and aggression in a way that shouldn't be possible. It's refined enough for a Concorde elegance and wild enough for a racetrack. Those butterfly doors aren't just for show. They're a statement that this car is something special, something that deserves a dramatic entrance every time. All right, gearheads, we're down to the final 3, and these aren't just beautiful cars. These are automotive legends that defined what a sports car should be. Before we reveal our top three, let me remind you to hit that like button if you're enjoying this journey through automotive history. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Coming in at number three, we've got the car that made Enzo Ferrari eat his words, the Jaguar E-Type. When the founder of Ferrari calls your car the most beautiful car ever built, you know you've done something right. The E-Type burst onto the scene in 1961 and immediately made every other sports car look outdated. That long, sensuous hood, those perfect proportions, that distinctive oval grille. This was automotive design perfection. It looked like it was doing 100 miles per hour while parked. But it wasn't just a pretty face. That inline six under the hood could push this beauty to 150 miles per hour, which was serious speed back in the day. The E-Type proved that the British could build something that looked as good as anything from Italy and went as fast as anything from Germany. The E-Type became the template for what a sports car should look like. Even today, you can see its influence in modern designs. Those flowing lines, that perfect stance, this is timeless automotive beauty that never goes out of style. At number two, we've got the car that changed everything, the Lamborghini Miura. When this beauty debuted at the 1966 Geneva Motor Show, it didn't just turn heads, it broke necks. Every other sports car at the show suddenly looked like it belonged in a museum. The Miura was revolutionary because it was the first production car to put a V12 engine behind the driver. That transverse-mounted power plant became the template for every supercar that followed. Ferruccio Lamborghini didn't just want to compete with Ferrari, he wanted to embarrass them. And the Miura did exactly that. Designed by the brilliant Marcello Gandini at Bertone, the Miura is pure Italian passion made metal. That low, wide stance, those iconic eyelash headlights, those massive air intakes. This car looks like it's ready to pounce even when it's sitting still. The Miura proved that a small tractor company from Sant'Agata could build something that would make the established manufacturers nervous. It wasn't just beautiful. It was a statement that the automotive world had a new player, and they meant business. And at number one, we have the holy grail of collector cars, the Ferrari 250 GTO. This isn't just the most beautiful sports car ever built. It's automotive perfection wrapped in Italian passion and racing heritage. Only 36 of these legends were ever built, and each one was basically a race car that you could drive on the street. That 3.0-liter V12 under the hood could push this beauty past 174 miles per hour, which was absolutely incredible for the early 1960s. But the numbers don't tell the whole story. The 250 GTO's body was sculpted by Scaglietti from a design by Giugiaro, and every curve serves a purpose. This isn't just beautiful, it's aerodynamically perfect. Form and function in perfect harmony. Today, these cars sell for $40 to $70 million when they come up for auction, making them more valuable than most people's entire neighborhoods. But it's not just about the money. It's about owning a piece of automotive history that represents the absolute peak of what a sports car can be. The Ferrari 250 GTO combines rarity, beauty, performance, and racing heritage in a way that no other car has ever matched. It's the ultimate collector's car because it's the ultimate sports car, period. And there you have it, folks. The 15 most beautiful sports cars ever built. From Japanese elegance to American muscle, from Italian passion to German precision, these machines represent the absolute peak of automotive design. What's your favorite? Did we miss one that should have made the list? Drop a comment below and let us know. And if you enjoyed this journey through automotive history, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you never miss our latest content. Until next time, keep the shiny side up and the rubber side down. We'll see you in the next one.